Chapter 21, Zero-Step Flying Sword. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ling Xiao Hall had the lottery big turntable, and the east and west sides immediately spun up. To be honest, the most important thing he wants now is immortality, but if you can draw other interesting and useful things, it is a good thing. There are a lot of things on the big turntable that Ling Xiao is very interested in. For example, there is a set of intermediate-level exercises called 100 Steps Flying Sword Technique. Such exercises are not available in the Ling family's book collection, which can be said to be extremely rare. Looking at the description of the exercises, it seems that after the 100-step flying sword is completed, it can take the first level hundreds of meters away. This feels more powerful than bows and arrows. Bows and arrows cannot be controlled. After shooting, they shoot. This 100 steps flying sword technique is controllable. As long as you practice the chi, even if the flying sword is shot, you can still control the speed and flight trajectory. This is a cow. 100 steps flying sword. Elixir. 100 steps flying sword. Elixir. These are the two things Ling Xiao wants most now, so when the turntable rotates, he can't help shouting in the mouth, hoping to get it smoothly. Pretty. It is 100 steps flying sword. Ling Xiao jumped up excitedly. Although this 100 steps flying sword cannot be improved, but it is too much for the improvement of combat power. Imagine that you can fly the sword to kill when others are not close to you. That is really unparalleled. Congratulations to Master Xuanhuan for drawing the intermediate skill 100 steps flying sword technique. Because you are using the draw function for the first time, you are rewarded with a flying sword. It was a pleasant surprise. Ling Xiao looked at the introduction of the flying sword, breeze sword. The fine flying sword can only be used to display flying sword martial arts. The flying speed is increased by 20%, and the power of the practice is increased by 20%. Remarks: the special effects obtained from the mountain and river space are only effective for the mountain and river masters. If they are given to others, the special effects disappear. In addition, after the item is snatched, you can go to the mountain and river map to get the same thing again for an unlimited number of times. This remark is understandable, that is to say, even if this sword is robbed by others, it is just an ordinary sword, and there will be no increase in the flying speed and the power of the power. This is pretty good. After all, he is guilty of crime. Ling Xiao still has no way to keep his own good things. Maybe he may be robbed of this flying sword by others, but grab it, grab it. Ordinary steel swords, nothing really worthy of distress. Anyway, the mountains and rivers will give compensation again, so don't worry about it at all. It's just that this breeze sword clearly corresponds to the martial arts of flying swords. For example, 100 steps flying sword technique is one of them, should be used for a single purpose, but even this is enough. Ling Xiao is not a greedy person. With these, his combat effectiveness has definitely improved a lot. Now when he meets Ling Chong, he does not need to do anything at all. Once the flying sword comes out, Ling Chong must be hung up on the spot. Obtain 100 steps flying sword technique. Ling Xiao temporarily put down other work. After he came out of the mountain and river map, he found a quiet place to start practicing. This intermediate level exercise is different from other martial arts. Although 100 steps flying sword technique also has 9 layers to complete, but it has only one move, that is, flying sword. After all, it's just an intermediate skill, and you can't ask it to be too good. Spent 2 days, Ling Xiao practiced 100 steps flying sword technique to the 9-story consummation. With the analysis and exercises of Xuanhuan, it is too easy to practice this single-stroke martial art. The most obvious feeling is that the higher the 100 steps flying sword technique is, the faster the flying sword is, and the greater the power. After the 9-layer consummation, a sword will fly out, killing a warrior with 3 peaks of martial arts. No problem, unless the other party practices any powerful defensive skills. Suddenly, Ling Xiao heard a sharp cry from the sky. He looked up and saw that it was a second-level peak monster black vulture. These 2 black sculptures are not the first time they hovered above Ling Xiao's head in 2 days. They seemed to be looking for a time to kill Ling Xiao. With it, Ling Xiao was very depressed after 2 days of cultivation. He had to change several places and almost got caught up. Today, the beast dared to come again. Just try the power of BeautifulFemaleLead. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao stood up. squeezing the breeze sword in his hand, urging the true chi in his body, and running 100 steps flying sword technique, swoosh. The breeze sword turned into a residual image and broke away, the sharp roaring sound pierced the air, and approached the black eagle that was hovering at a very fast speed. Compared to bows and arrows, the advantage of 100 steps flying sword is that he does not need to aim, as long as he locks the target, then unless the opponent blocks or avoids, he will definitely be able to hit. The flying sword was too fast. When the black eagle was discovered, it was too late to hide. A white light pierced its body, and blood spattered. Oh, failed to hit the point. That the 100-step flying sword was cast for the first time, and Ling Xiao was obviously a little strange, so that although this sword had pierced the black eagle, it failed to hit the point. After all, that stuff is equivalent to the second-level pinnacle monster of the Wumai double peak warrior. If it is not the point, this sword will not be able to kill it at all. The black eagle was furious and swooped down, apparently desperately trying to fight Ling Xiao, but this black eagle brain is not as good as human beings. It doesn't even know that the 100 flying swords come and go. Let go. Come back. This is an attack. Therefore, when the black eagle accelerates to dive, the breeze sword has returned, this time directly puncturing the head of the black eagle. This is not controlled by Ling Xiao, because the energy inside the body can't be released until the gang gas is not controlled www.wuxiaspot.com, but because the black vulture moved its position so that the flying sword returned along the same path, just punctured its head. Luck. Ling Xiao could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. It seems that cultivation is one thing, but actual combat is another. When he practiced 100 steps flying sword technique these 2 days, he used stones or trees as his target. These are all fixed targets, so it's a natural hit. It seems that if you want to fully master the 100-step flying sword technique, try to attack the monster. There are a lot of valuable materials on the black sculpture, and if it is sold on the market, it can be sold for 1,000 or 2 shadows. After all, this is a second-level peak monster. Its blood and bones can be used for alchemy. Throw the body of the black eagle into the mountain and river picture. Ling Xiao carried the breeze sword and cast Xiangyun to start searching in the Fulong Mountains. He was looking for the cubs of monsters. Of course, by the way, he hunted a few monsters below level 3, and he could also use them to sell the money. After all, it is a little too eye-catching to sell the secrets of exercises. Basic martial arts and low-level martial arts are okay to say that once they sell intermediate martial arts, it is impossible to find them. Hey! That's the black bird. That when Ling Xiao killed Black Eagle before, he wondered whether this guy would leave a fledgling, so he deliberately searched along the place where Black Eagle often circulated. Sure enough, I found a bird's nest on a cliff with 4 chicks in it. Ling Xiao put it into the mountain and river map without saying anything, and then gave it to the second-level herdsman to help raise it. Not only can the material of this black sculpture be used for refining medicine, but it is also a second-level peak monster when you grow up without practicing. It can also be used as a helper at a critical moment. Chapter 22, Xiaoyue Mad Wolf. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Found the black eagle chick. Ling Xiao did not stop searching. There is currently only one kind of herb, and there is only one kind of monster, which is obviously not enough. Tiang Xinghua, one of the medicinal materials for breaking through Dan. The two-winged snake. The snake gallbladder is an important material for refining the heart-protecting pill. It is a first-class peak monster in adulthood and is highly toxic. Chemical gas fruit, refining the main material of breakthrough Dan. Vajra wolf. Bones can be used to refine Vajra pills. Adult is a third-level ordinary monster. In the process of searching for herbs and monsters, Ling Xiao also began to try to practice 2 intermediate body methods at the same time. 3 days later, these 2 intermediate body methods have already achieved great consummation. Ling Xiao directly opened the 2 steps of Xiangyunbu, then continued to practice. After reaching the 2nd step, the speed of Xiangyunbu has already surpassed the warrior of the same level. Even the martial peak triple warrior is not as fast as him. If you use blood power, you can easily escape even if you encounter the martial arts quadruple warrior. As for 100 steps flying sword technique, he is also often used when hunting monsters, so in these 3 days, he can almost apply 100 steps flying sword technique to the point of pure fire, freely retractable, more accurate when targeting. if you let him meet the black vulture before, there will never be a situation where it can't hit the key for the first time, and it can definitely be killed with a sword. 3 consecutive days of continuous cultivation of body skills and 100 steps flying sword technique. Because every time you have to run Red Sun Gong, it also makes Qi Yang Gong enter the country quickly, and has reached the 9th level, close to the great consummation realm. Of course, in addition to the improvement of strength, there are also many other gains. In addition to the monsters hunted can be worth 2 or 32,000 silver. His mountain and river map already has 10 kinds of plant herbs and 3 monster beasts. If it is not because of the small number of farmers and herders, if he can't take care of it, he will definitely choose to stay here for a few more days. But now it's time to go back. The materials are almost collected, and it's time to take the refining elixir. After all, the key is to increase the strength to Wumai triple, which is very important for the annual comparison that will come in a few days. I want to say regret, that is, I haven't seen a monster of the 3rd level peak these days. No way, he really dared not go alone into the depths of the Fulong Mountains, because it was too dangerous, and if it was a small life, it was really uneconomical. As Ling Xiao was about to leave, he suddenly found a huge red dot on the mountain and river map. Then came a howling that was enough to make him blood shake. 4th level monster Xiaoyue wolf. Ling Xiao opened the red dot, and was startled. Hurry up, level 3 peak monster beast can deal with it, level 4 monster beast don't think about it, it is definitely not his martial arts double peak warrior can deal with. Go away. This moon wolf is drawn from the mountain. Just wanted to leave, he saw a group of teenagers coming around. It is roughly estimated that there are 12 or 3 people, and their strength is not weak. One of the strongest, should be comparable to Ling Xiao, are the 3 peaks of martial arts. Go away. I didn't even want to grab this broken thing with you, would I speak? Ling Xiao frowned. Under Li Xingyun, brother Fong Kai was offended, and I hope to forgive. This person's attitude is not bad, Li Xingyun. Right. Is this not the genius disciple of the Li family in Tianfeng City? Under Ling Xiao. Don't care, I'm leaving anyway. Was originally a little annoyed, but Li Xingyun was quite polite, and he ignored it. It turned out to be the children of the Ling family. It was fate when they met each other. This Xiaoyue wolf is powerful. It is better to deal with it together. Naturally, after harvesting, you will have your share, Li Xingyun smiled. No need, I am afraid of death. Ling Xiao waved his hand, turned around and left, without any slight attachment. Humph, coward. I haven't heard the name Ling Xiao. I guess it's just an ordinary disciple. Brother Nebula, you are really true. What do you have to say to him? If Ling Feng, Ling Taiho and Ling Yixue can help. Enough is enough, don't say it. Xiaoyue wolf has come over, quickly set up traps, ready to attack. Li Xingyun waved his hand. Although he was obviously only 15 or 16 years old, he seemed to be a master. Ling Xiao left about 200 or 300 meters away, and stopped. He was very interested. How did the Li family, one of the 4 big families in Tianfeng City, clean up this Xiaoyue wolf, 4th level monster, that is equivalent to the 4-fold martial arts warrior, has been able to exert Gang Qi? The disciples of the Li family arranged the trap, leaving only Li Xingyun as a bait there, and the rest were hiding, preparing to attack together after the moon wolf entered the trap. However, they obviously underestimated the strength of the Xiaoyue wolf. When Xiaoyue Lang rushed over, Zhanko howled, and a blade-like gust of gas flew out of his mouth, and the ground was shoveled up. The traps originally arranged were all destroyed. No, this guy is too strong, and very cunning, we are not opponents, withdraw. Li Xingyun originally wanted to try his martial arts triple peak cultivation to face the 4th level monster, but he obviously did not expect the 4th level monster to be so strong. Is completely unexpected. This means that he can resist a few times and change someone else, and he will definitely be killed directly by the blade-shaped gang gas. What? His voice had just dropped, and someone had been cut off directly. The man, who is the warrior of the double peak of Wumai, hid behind the big tree. Who knew that after the big tree was cut, even he was killed? This time the disciples of the Li family panicked and fled, and some people accidentally tripped by the roots. This is the horror of level 4 monsters. Hiding in the dark did not mean to laugh at the Li family disciples. Yu reading books www.yuyukeungshu.com level monsters, he also had to escape, so embarrassed. Don't panic, everyone, I'll block him first, you withdraw. At the critical moment, Li Xiangyun was like a personal thing. Instead of turning around to escape, he shook the long sword in his hand and aimed at Xiaoyue Wolf. The blade-shaped gang gas that just attacked him was blocked by his sword. This also made him clear the gap between himself and the 4th level monster, is impossible to win. But maybe it will last for a while. I have to say that Ling Xiao is a little amazed by this Li Xiangyun. Such a person is much smarter than Ling Fei, Ling Chong and Ling Feng, perhaps Ling Yixue can be compared with it. Storm sword. Li Xiangyun snorted and kicked his feet to the ground. The man had already flew out, and the long sword pointed directly at the throat of Xiaoyue Lang. No matter what monster, the throat is always the weakest place, which Li Xiangyun obviously also knows. Sword of Stormwind. It should be advanced swordsmanship. This Li Xiangyun is worthy of the Li family's genius. Actually, he can get advanced swordsmanship. It seems to be the object of key training. Brother Nebula, come on. Kill that evil barrier. Seeing Li Xiangyun's attack, those originally disturbed children of the Li family actually stopped and began to cry there. It's really a bunch of scumbags. At this time, don't hurry to escape, Li Xiangyun will not be mad at you. Ling Xiao looked extremely speechless. He is very clear that although Li Xiangyun is powerful, he can only postpone the attack of Xiaoyue Wolf in order to let the rest of the Li family escape. This bunch of idiots is good, it is a group of pig brains. Chapter 23, Shameless. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Stab. Li Xiangyun's sword pierced into Xiaoyue Wolf's body, however, only about half an inch. I can no longer go deeper. 4th level monster beast terror defense. The bone is hard, and it is not lost to the sword in Li Xiangyun's hand. Ao. Xiaoyue Wolf took pains, howled with a mouth, and the gas blade in his mouth shot again. Li Xiangyun's emperor drew his sword to block, but he still made a move. Although he obviously practiced defensive skills, he was not seriously injured, but the wound was also terrible. In addition to the force of the horrible Gang Chi blade, he failed to stabilize his body, was blown out, and then hit the tree again. This injury may not be a big deal for the Wumai triple peak warrior, but the master is overkill. Between life and death, he was not as good as the Xiaoyue Wolf. But now he was knocked down again. Wherever Xiaoyue Wolf would let this opportunity pass, he jumped up and jumped. Brother Nebula, when the children of the Li family looked at the situation, they were all terrified, and some people even covered their eyes. Shit. Seeing that Li Xiangyun was about to die tragically under the big mouth of Xiaoyue Lang's blood basin, suddenly a sword light flew by, bypassing obstacles, and then hit Xiaoyue Wolf. Ao. Xiaoyue Wolf made a hysterical scream. The sound was so harsh that it even shocked a few Li family disciples to spit white foam on the spot and stunned. The surrounding trees were also screaming, as if trembling with the noise. Children of the Li family looked in surprise and found that Jianguang had flew away, and the wound on Xiaoyue Wolf's forehead was obviously deeper. This sword happened to be the wound that Li Xiangyun had left on Xiaoyue Wolf's forehead before stabbing. Jianguang flew back and forth, but suddenly, when Xiaoyue Lang tried to find the attacker, he found that there was no figure at all. At this time, Li Xiangyun also took the opportunity to escape. He is a wise man who knows that someone can help, no matter who it is, or save his life first. However, Xiaoyue Wolf obviously will not let him easily. No sneak attackers were found. Xiaoyue Lang counted all the hatred on Li's children. Crazy chase. What? What? Screams rang out again and again. In just an instant, Li's children were already dead. Although Li Xiangyun wanted to stop Xiaoyue Wolf at this time, he was helpless. He was a little dizzy because of too much blood loss. Seeing that Li's children who were present today would be slaughtered clean, suddenly that sword light appeared again. Still stabbed the previous wound accurately. Aohu. Even if Xiaoyue Wolf is stronger, it is only a level 4 monster after all. Ling Xiao's 100-step flying sword has been cultivated to the 9-layer great consummation, coupled with the power of the breeze sword, and the power of the violent secret has been doubled. and it has been stabbed on the wound it has already been punctured twice. Even if the bone is hard, it is still punctured. Of course, if you want to kill Xiaoyue wolf alone, it is still a little whimsical, but Xiaoyue Lang is in the bright place, Ling Xiao was in the dark, and he continuously cast BeautifulFemaleLead. Each time it was cast, it changed to another location. When Xiaoyue Lang arrived there, he could only be angry with the sky. When Xiaoyue wolf put the target on Ling Xiao, the disciples of the Li family had already started to retreat. They just saw the horror of Xiaoyue wolf completely. Don't run away now, but after a while, I really have no chance at all. Let's go, Brother Nebula, no matter who shot it. In short, we have recovered a life today. Seeing Li Xiangyun still reluctant to leave, everyone urged up. Li Xiangyun gave a huh sound, but obviously still a little bit reluctant. That Xiaoyue wolf's obvious breath has been much weaker, and it will not work in sight. Just left, it is a pity, I really want to talk about it. At first, Xiaoyue wolf's injury was left by him. Ayo! At this moment, the Xiaoyue wolf suddenly screamed and turned to escape deep into the jungle. Ha ha ha, you won't die! Laughter. A figure chased in the direction of Xiaoyue Lang's escape. Sure, Ling's launch of Xiangyun is definitely faster than the howling wolf that has lost footsteps due to excessive blood loss. This Xiaoyue wolf is full of treasure, worth more than 450,000 or 2 silver. This half day of hard work cannot be wasted. After all, he didn't save Li Xiangyun. After all, he still saw the opportunity to kill Xiaoyue wolf. Isn't that just the Ling family disciple? Someone recognized Ling Xiao. Yes, it seems to be called Ling Xiao. This guy's body is so horrible, how can it be so fast? Just now that flying sword technique should be used by him. Where did he get the martial arts skills? But haven't heard of the Ling family having such a sword technique. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have died so many people. That is, if Brother Nebula first stabbed that Xiaoyue wolf, it was him alone. Among the disciples of the Li family, there are obviously disciples who are stronger than Ling Xiao. Among these people, in addition to Li Xiangyun's Wumai triple cultivation practice, there are 3 people who are Wumai triple cultivation practice. They naturally can't look down on Ling Xiao and think Ling Xiao is taking advantage. Hey, but okay, when he kills that Xiaoyue wolf, let's just pick it cheap. A martial disciple of Ling family sneered. Li Xiangyun's face was cold, and it seemed to mean the same. It's not cheap to pick up. Originally Xiaoyue Lang was the one we brought out to kill, no one asked him to shoot. Said again. Ayo! At this moment, a whine came from hundreds of meters away, and everyone could hear it. That was the last whine before the death. Died? Go. Go and see. Li Xiangyun waved his hand. You reading www.Bukanshu. Everyone on Calm keeps up. Although 3 people have died, they still have a dozen people. Of course, they will not be afraid of Ling Xiao. Not far away, Ling Xiao wiped the sweat from her forehead and sat cross-legged on the ground. He was using return chi to restore his true energy. In order to kill Xiaoyue wolf, Ling Xiao continuously used blazing skills, which consumed a lot of chi. Now it's hard to kill it, and it's almost bottoming out. He was very worried that the disciples of the Li family would come to trouble, so he did not rush to clean up the scene, but rushed to restore his true energy. In case the other party is in trouble, it's better to be prepared. In addition to return chi, he also chewed a medicinal herb, which is a herb for refining return chi dan. Although the effect is definitely worse than Huicadan, it is better than nothing. This time it is good luck to be able to kill the 4th level monster beast Moon Wolf with Wumai double peak cultivation. Without the wound that Li Xiangyun's sword broke, his attack could not break the defense of Xiaoyue wolf. Although very unconvinced, this is reality. The realm is too far apart. Even if your skills are strong, it is difficult to make up for the gap. It seems that it is imminent to promote cultivation. After a moment, the Li family's children rushed to the scene, is headed by Li Xiangyun. Brother Ling, this Xiaoyue wolf was discovered by us, and it was also brought out by us. Since Brother Ling helped kill, we will naturally order something from Brother to compensate. Li Xiangyun's words were calm, but at this time in Ling Xiao's eyes, he has changed from a flirtatious son into a shameless things. Chapter 24, One Punch. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother Nebula, don't talk nonsense with this kid. We don't need to share our stuff with anyone at all. Speaks with a young man beside Li Xingyun, whose strength is the triple of Wumai, is not as good as Li Xingyun, but on the surface, it is definitely more powerful than Ling Xiao. Li Rui. Don't say that. I believe Brother Ling is a smart person. Li Xingyun is really a hypocrite. It is disgusting to want the corpse of Xiaoyue wolf but to pretend to be a gentleman. Ling Xiao did not speak, just looked at these people lightly. To tell the truth, among these people, the only thing he was a little afraid of was Li Xingyun, but at this time Li Xingyun was injured and his strength was less than half of his previous strength. He is naturally not afraid. As for the others, it was nothing in his eyes. How about Brother Ling? What compensation is needed? As long as we can accept it, we can give you. Li Xingyun saw Ling Xiao not talking, so he asked again. Ling Xiao spoke this time, because he still needs some time to recover. He can delay it, the other party doesn't seem to know what he is doing. After all, the martial arts who practice the martial arts 3 times or less, basically no one would practice return chi, and even if you practice, the effect will not be too good. He belongs to an exception. Other people naturally can't think of it. Under the influence of mountains, rivers and martial arts, all martial arts effects will be improved. Currently, his mountain and river martial arts are first class, the boosting effect is 10%. Brother Li said how to divide. Li Xingyun touched his chin and said, well, the people present today, plus you are a total of 13, if you divide by head, you will not get 10%, but after all, Brother Ling has made a contribution. If you just lose a little, you will get 10%, and the rest 90%, how about our share? Give him 10%. It's too cheap for him. Let's die if we have 3 brothers. Li Rui said uncomfortably. Yes, too much, why should he get 10%? The rest of the Li family's children also agreed with Li Rui. I will not give it to Chengdu. Haha, I have seen Shameless, I have never seen such a Shameless. Ling Xiao is happy, it is true music. He originally thought that Li Xingyun was shameless enough, did not expect other people to be more shameless. Boy, even if you don't want it. Give you a point, that's how we send our kindness. How about not giving you? Li Rui said with a sneer, the face is full of ridicule and disdain. Anyway, there are many of them, plus several people are obviously stronger than the other. What are you afraid of? Originally the 4 big families in Tianfeng City were you fighting for me, even if you didn't give it. What about? Really? I originally thought you were dead, and you planned to share some with you, but now, you don't want a hair. Ling Xiao is telling the truth. He is not an unreasonable person, but the other party is so shameless, then he can only ignore the emotion, meet people to speak human words, to speak ghost words. You are ungrateful and brazen, then don't blame me. Ling Xiao. Stinky boy, you really are dead. Li Ruibao shouted, and the long sword shook in his hand, even stabbing directly into Ling Xiao's throat. He is trying to kill people. Anyway, people were killed in this forest, and no one would know that they did it. Furthermore, they have never heard of the name Ling Xiao, indicating that it is just a disciple of the Ling family, who kills, and no one will come to trouble. Li Xingyun did not stop, because he was injured at this time. He couldn't shoot, but although Li Rui's strength was slightly inferior to him, he was better than the opponent's obvious strength. It should not be difficult to win. Storm sword. The swordsmanship displayed by Li Rui's long sword in his hand is exactly the same as Li Xingyun's. But in terms of momentum and power, it is obviously much worse than Li Xingyun. Brother Li Rui's blade of swordsmanship has been cultivated to the 4th level, although not as good as Brother Nebula, but the kid is definitely unable to stop. Who made the boy ignorant? He deserves to die. The children of the Li family had no intention of being grateful. At this time, when Li Rui shot to kill Ling Xiao, instead, he showed an expression of gloating and misfortune. Is this a fight between families? Is really cruel enough. However, they chose the wrong target for bullying today. I am really ignorant and fearless. Faced the attack, Ling Xiao gave a sneer. He was born as a beggar. He knew from an early age that there is no mercy in this world. If someone wants to kill you, you can only kill each other to survive. Such a thing, he saw much more. What? Li Rui's long sword stabbed. but Ling Xiao suddenly disappeared. The rock that was sitting cross-legged was pierced by the sword of the wind, and the gravel flew. If this stabbed someone, it would definitely die. What kind of body is this? How come it is so fast? All Li children including Li Xiangyun were dumbfounded. Ling Xiao was still sitting there at the last moment, but there was no figure at the next moment, which made them completely unable to understand what happened, only felt the afterimage flash. Leroy's attack target disappeared. Brother Leroy, be careful. Ling Xiao appeared behind Leroy, but he did not intend to use a 100-step flying sword. The distance is too close. The power of 100-step flying sword is not as overbearing as meteor fist. The second style of the sword of the wind split wind. Leroy also felt that there was someone behind him, so he hurriedly turned around and tried to force Ling Xiao away. How did Ling Xiao give him a chance at this time? The ninth style of meteor boxing. I have not used it yet, let you try the power first. Meteor star boxing. Ninth style. Meteorite falls. Ling Xiao didn't keep his hand. He hated this ungrateful person who would kill the killer if he didn't agree, so this shot is the killer. Not only did he use the most powerful form of meteor fist, but he also used violent tips. You are merciful. Li Xiangyun clearly felt the power of this punch and hurried to block it. www.wuxiaspot.com was going to die. Leroy's feeling was even stronger. He seemed to see a meteorite colliding against his body. The terrifying momentum made him unable to breathe and his body could not move. He did not understand that his cultivation practice was obviously stronger than Ling Xiao, but why the momentum was so different. Of course he didn't understand. The addition of Wuha soul of mountains and rivers, and the ninth style of meteor fist under the secret of Qi, the power has already exceeded the punch of Wumai triple peak warrior. Boom! Ling Xiao punched Leroy with a punch. Boom! The sound of broken bones sounded, then Leroy was directly flew out and hit the nearby tree heavily. The head was crooked, and the person was out of breath. Not only that, this dead face is not so pretty, the body is almost deformed, the bones in the whole body were almost completely broken, there are traces of flame burns on his body, that is the special effect of red sun gong. Brother Leroy! You actually killed Brother Leroy. I fight with you. Stop it all. Li Xiangyun was indignant in his heart. He also wanted to avenge Leroy, but he was very clear in his heart, who can hit Leroy with a punch, no one here would be his opponent, unless Li Xiangyun is not injured now. It's a pity that his injury is not light. If he hurries, he will definitely not be better than Leroy. The rest of Li's children were suddenly awakened by Li Xiangyun. They understood the terrible strength of Ling Xiao. The strength of this guy is definitely more than the double peak of Wumai. Chapter 25, Lingjia Pharmacy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother Nebula, would you let this kid leave like this? Brother Leroy died in vain. Although he was afraid of Ling Xiao, the Li family's children were still bitter about Leroy's death, coupled with their large number of people, always thinking about how much can be bullied. I am going to leave, who can stop you? Ling Xiao sneered, and carried the body of Xiaoyue Lang on his shoulder, so he swaggered through the Li family crowd. No one dared to shoot. Fong Kai. Ling Xiao punched the martial arts. Triple martial arts. Leroy's scene is still vivid, they are very clear. Who will shoot first, who will die? Walked through the crowd. Ling Xiao was relieved. To tell the truth, he didn't recover his qi before, after killing Leroy with all his strength. Now if the Li family's children really attack in groups, then he can only run away. Just didn't expect that these people were so timid that they didn't even dare to shoot. This has helped him a lot, and he left after pretending to be a real girl. What is the origin of this Ling Xiao? Look at this qualification. I am afraid that it is not worse than that genius Ling Xiao. What's more, even if it is Ling Fifan, it's impossible to leave like this at the peak of Wumai double. Li Xiangyun's face was somber, said coldly against Ling Xiao's back. No, Brother Nebula, are you talking about Ling Fifan, one of the 4 sons of Tianfeng City? Yes, it's him. Impossible. Ling Fifan was promoted to the fourfold realm of Wumai as early as 3 years ago when he was 12 years old. That's a real genius. How could that kid be comparable? The 4 sons of Tianfeng City are all warriors who have been promoted to the fourfold of Wumai before the age of 14, which is definitely an example for all young people in Tianfeng City. That is, Brother Nebula, you can't afford that Ling Xiao too. If you are not injured today, Ling Xiao will definitely die. Of course, although Li Xingyun respects Ling Xiao, he is more confident. If he is not injured today, Li Rui will never die. By the way, don't talk nonsense after going back here today, it means that Li Rui was killed by Xiaoyue wolf, otherwise we all have to be unlucky. Li Rui's grandfather is the elder of our family, his grandson was killed by the Ling family, we didn't help, do you know what the consequences will be? Suddenly, Li Xingyun sneered. Understand, Brother Nebula. After leaving the Fulong Mountains, Ling Xiao went to the market first and replaced all the excess materials with silver, a total of 35,000. This money is necessary, because even if you want to help the Ling family's pharmacy to refine the panacea, you have to pay the labor service fee, and you can't do it without money, and the more precious immortality medicine, the higher the labor cost required. But 35,002 silver, that is more than enough. After, he went to the auction house again. And took 102 silver earned from his basic auction skills, still giving others a handling fee of 12, all the silver was stored in the mountain and river map by him, this is safer than putting it in a silver number. He heard that there is a thing called storage ring in this world, but he has never seen it, and even if there is, it is definitely not as good as his mountain and river map. This time he had no plans to sell the exercises, with the silver, this adventurous thing can be temporarily stopped first, so as not to get out of the way. After leaving the auction house, Ling Xiao speeded up and returned to the Ling family, went directly to the medicine hall. Medicine hall is a place where Ling family specializes in making medicine and healing wounds. There are many people at any time, so it's really difficult to avoid people who don't want to meet. No, as soon as I arrived at the medicine hall, Ling Xiao found that Ling Yu and Ling Feng were coming here too. Ling Yu is still the charming girl. At this time, holding the arm of Ling Feng, the sweet energy is really a bit jealous. Ling Feng is still dressed in white, looks very chic, and the momentum seems to be stronger than when he last saw it. The whole person stood there, like a sword with a sheath. Oh, little beggar, are you coming to the medicine hall again to get medicine residue? Ling Xiao discovered Ling Feng and Ling Yu, and they naturally discovered Ling Xiao, because no one is hiding. When there was no money before, Ling Xiao always came to the medicine hall to ask for some medicine residue, mainly for cultivation. Because of this, he was laughed at and ridiculed. Well, our holy ancestor from the Northern Han dynasty was also a beggar, with long hair and short hair, sneered and snorted, without much entanglement, throwing the next sentence, and entered the medicine hall. It's still important to do your own business. It's really boring to fight. Oh, even if the kid dared to compare with the ancestor, I really don't know how high and thick. I heard that he seemed to have defeated Ling Chong a few days ago and won Ling Fei in light skill. Said Ling Feng coldly, speaking of no one at the beginning, I am afraid that the word is most suitable for him, but it is him. Ling Feng. Ling Xiao has never looked down on anyone, including Ling Chong, who has been defeated twice by him in a row. He has made all his efforts. Brother Feng is right, that grandpa is a genius. What is he? A poor beggar. Ling Yu is also a not taking Ling Xiao seriously. In her opinion, Ling Xiao's strength has improved, but she has no money, no backstage, and she can't go forward. Ling Xiao didn't know the two men's argument. After he entered the pharmacy, he went directly to the counter, where he registered. To break through the Wumai triple, all he needs is to break through one of the pill, Huxin pill and Humai pill. In addition, the Juki pill to enhance the true energy also needs a little, and it will be used in special situations in the future. If you buy directly, the breakthrough Dan is 1002 silver. Yu reading www.uukangshu.com. Huxin Dan and Humai Dan are the same price, and Ju Chi Dan is a little cheaper. One is 500 silver. Although Ling Xiao can afford it, he doesn't need to spend these injustices. He has the materials. After providing, breakthrough pill, Huxin pill and Humai pill only need to give 102 silver each as a service fee. Jikadan only needs 52 silver labor fee. Brother Feng, this time I should break through the Wumai triple. You have to get me the breakthrough pill, Huxin pill and Humai pill, or I will not be happy. At this time, Ling Yu and Ling Feng also came in. Listening to Ling Yu's meaning, she seems to be preparing to break through, but this is also normal. After all, Lingyu has already been a martial arts double warrior very early, plus Lingfeng's elixir, it is a bit strange not to break through. Sister Rain, you also know that the annual Dobby is about to start. I must seize the time to break through to the fourfold of Wumai. I need a lot of breakthrough Dan, Huxin Dan and Humai Dan. You should be wronged first. Listen to this meaning, Ling Feng does not intend to spend money on Lingyu. He now has to break through the fourfold of Wumai wholeheartedly, and the amount of panacea required is huge. Although he is also a child of the Ling family, his family is not as good as Ling Chong, and even Ling Chong cannot be profligate. The Ling family can become one of the 4 major families in Tianfeng City. This rule is still relatively strict. Although some people will occasionally violate it, it is only a small number. Well, is it always okay to buy 2 Kikkoden? Lingyu was obviously not very happy, he grumbled. I'm afraid of you. Okay, just use the Qi Dan, you can consolidate your current cultivation. Ling Feng nodded and said. Chapter 26, It's Nice to Have Money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ling Xiao was not interested in controlling others' parents, but he was still a little happy in his heart. When he was a beggar, Lingyu bullied him because he had no money and no power, later entered the Ling family, and Lingyu abandoned him, also because he had no money and could not buy so many immortals to enhance his strength, and today, he is holding a huge sum of money and can come to the medicine hall to buy what he wants. I don't know how Lingyu will feel when he hears it. Sir, please give me a heart-protecting pill, a pulse-protecting pill, a breakthrough pill, and 10 more Chi pill. Most of the people in the pharmacy are old people. At this time, the one standing behind the counter is, in terms of seniority, the teacher of Ling Xiao. Oh, this is not Ling Xiao, I have prepared the medicine residue for you today. This old man is definitely not satire Ling Xiao, but sincerely concerned about Ling Xiao. Before Ling Xiao came to take the medicine residue almost every day. Before he knew this teacher, he was always insulted and made trouble. However, after knowing this teacher, it is different. The old man will always prepare the medicine residue for him, just wait for him to get it. Uncle, I don't want medicine residue today, I want to break through Dan, Huxin Dan, Humai Dan, and Qi Dan, this is what I want. Some of the children of the Ling family who had come to buy immortality next to it, or receive treatment, thought they had misheard Ling Xiao and ignored it, but this time Ling Xiao said it again, they could hear clearly, looked at Ling Xiao with strange eyes. He, Brother Feng, the poor light egg actually said he was going to buy the elixir and laughed. Lingyu couldn't help but chuckled. In her view, Ling Xiao was really crazy, those immortals can't even afford her, let alone Ling Xiao. Those things he wants are counted at 8,002 silvers, but he dares to brag. Ling Feng also sneered with disdain, 8,002 silvers, even if he can get so much money at the end of a month, it is because he has a good father. What is Ling Xiao? An out-of-town disciple, with an old beggar with a dilapidated family at home, how could there be so much money? Little guy, get rich? Asked the old man at the counter with a smile. Uncle, I went into the Fulong Mountains these days. I was lucky to collect some herbs. I also killed a few monsters. I have a lot of money on my body. Speaking of words, Ling Xiao took out the materials of Humai Dan, Huxin Dan and Breakthrough Dan and handed it over. Uncle sure, the 3 medicinal exchange methods, as for Qi Dan, directly buy it. Under the stunned crowd, Ling Xiao spent 5,332 silver and 3 copies of alchemy materials to get what he wanted. Ling Yu's laughter came to an abrupt end, Ling Feng's disdain turned into a surprise. With his strength, how can he enter the Fulong mountain range and still be able to kill the monsters? Ling Yu and Ling Feng were shocked inexplicably. Not only is Ling Xiao rich, but also because Ling Xiao can retreat from the whole body of Fulong mountain. Know that although there are no mandatory regulations in the family, it is generally not recommended that martial arts under the fourfold Wumai enter the Fulong mountains. If you have to go, you must keep more than 10 people, and you must have a martial arts triple peak warrior to lead the team. More importantly, intelligence moves at the edge. Until today, Ling Feng and Ling Yu have not been to the Fulong mountains. Because they have money, they can ask their family members without having to work hard. At this moment, they felt as if they were being compared by Ling Xiao at once, with an embarrassed expression on their faces. "Good boy, you are really rich, and have grown. Well, uncle takes medicine for you." "Yes, uncle, I'll get another 100 pieces of gold medicine and 10 bottles of healing pills." Ling Xiao suddenly thought that if he often went to the Fulong Mountains, he would definitely be injured. There is a gold wound medicine for trauma treatment, and a healing pill for internal injury treatment, and these things are not very expensive. Of course, this is only for the warrior. For ordinary people, these things are still sky high, because a piece of gold medicine is 1 or 2 silver, 100 pieces is 102, a bottle of healing pills is about 100, worth 100 or 2 silver. 10 bottles is 1,002, before this, Ling Xiao couldn't even think of it. But now it can be bought easily, this is the gap. No problem. After the transaction was completed, when Ling Xiao went out, Chong Lingfeng and Lingyu nodded slightly, then smiled, saw the 2 pig-liver-colored faces, and he was very happy in his heart, but did not go to the joke on the spot. The most important thing right now is to improve strength, because he knows that his current strength is not an opponent of people like Ling Feng and Li Xinyan. Strength is everything. With strength, there is dignity, and there will be more money. Ling Feng ignored Ling Xiao. Ling Yu looked at Ling Xiao awkwardly. Something seemed to have changed in his eyes, and there was even a trace of regret. "Well, it's fun for you to improve your strength. When the annual comparison is over, I want to make you lose your heart." It wasn't until Ling Xiao was about to leave the entrance of the medicine hall that Ling Feng turned his head and grinned a word for it. "It's just that his smile is really uglier than crying." Ling Xiao smiled, didn't say anything. Anyway, the year's dobby is about to start, and now everything is redundant. After leaving the pharmacy, he returned directly to his home. Grandpa's body seems to be much better. "You child, go out without saying hello. Grandpa seems a little angry." "Grandpa, don't be angry. It's 100 or 2 silver. You can buy whatever you want in the future. We have money now. We don't have to live like the beggars before. In addition, I plan to make this house renovated, otherwise it will be impossible to live on a rainy day." "Where do you come from so much money?" "Grandpa, www.wuxiaspot.com. Anyway, it's not stolen or robbed. You can rest assured. Your grandson is now entering the country quickly, and it is estimated that when the annual comparison is over, it will not be a problem to break through the triple of Wumai." Ling Xiao did not explain much. He threw 100 or 2 silver parcels on the table, and then went back to the room to prepare for a breakthrough. These days in the Fulong Mountains, he has been continually training and fighting, but in fact, his strength has long been able to break through. The reason why it didn't break through was not that it was impossible, but that he deliberately suppressed it. Without Huxin Dan and Humai Dan, it is very dangerous to break through. He does not want any accidents to happen. The poor have only one life. Unlike those rich people, even if only half of their lives are left, their family will save them, but he can't. Once he is seriously injured, it is basically not far from death. Take breakthrough pill, Huxin pill, and Humai pill separately, and then Ling Xiao started to cross the knee and started Qiangong, ready to break through the 3rd martial arts. Really don't say. The power to break through Dan is really fierce. When one goes down, the power of terror immediately melts in Dan Tian, and then wrapped in the true energy in his body, he suddenly rushed to the 3rd martial arts. No wonder you need to protect Xinshin and Humaiden. If not, this terrifying power will break your heart. The power of breaking through Dan surprised Ling Xiao, and the functions of Huxin Dan and Humai Dan were even greater than he thought. After the true qi has increased, the meridians will inevitably be enlarged. Without these 2 immortals, the meridians will break if they fail, and now don't worry about it. The violent power will not only destroy him, but will expand his meridians, make his body more adaptable to stronger qi, and prepare for the future promotion of Wumai quadruple. Chapter 27, Wumai 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hong Qi looked at Ling Xiao in the house through the window, and couldn't help but smile. At that time, adopting Ling Xiao was probably the most correct thing he did. He walked away lightly, walked to the courtyard, and looked at the stars in the sky. Your son has grown up and has become a talented man. I haven't failed to live up to the 2 beggars of the old beggars. I only hope you can be safe. Ling Xiao did not know what was happening outside the house, didn't even know that his parents might still be alive. He is now wholeheartedly trying to break through the triple realm of Wumai, and is using the power to break through Dan to constantly hit the third Wumai. After one night, Ling Xiao suddenly opened her eyes, and then punched out. Wow! Remembered with a loud voice, the thick brick wall in front of him actually shattered with a big hole. He could feel that his whole body qi has an amazing improvement, including muscles, bones, veins and blood seem to strengthen a lot. This fist, even if it's less, there is a lot of power. This is the strongest force that a warrior under Wumai triple can fight. Unexpectedly, it was so easy to break through, and it seemed that Wushan's soul was extraordinary. Ling Xiao is very clear, although the breakthrough Dan works well, it is definitely not so good. After all, his success is inseparable from Shan Wu Hun. When I broke through last night, every time I felt that I was going to fall short, there would always be a bizarre power word from the mountain and river Wuhuan to help him defeat the obstacles, plus that he has been suppressing no breakthrough. For so many days, it can be said that the power has reached the verge of coming out. Now it will be released, and natural breakthrough will be easier, but Wumai Mie is just the beginning. Although Ling Xiao was excited in his heart, he also understood that at the moment, he was at most the line of disciples Ling Fei, Ling Feng and Ling Tai. There is still a gap compared with Ling Xiaoyue and Li Xingyun, and people may break through the fourfold of Wumai at any time, triple to quadruple. It seems to be just a realm, but it is a world apart. After all, true qi is incomparable to gang qi. The power has changed qualitatively, and all attacks will have a qualitative improvement. It can be said that, unless people with triple martial arts can also use gangqi, otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to challenge the martial arts quadruple. Martial artists, the showdown between Li Xingyun and Xiaoyue Wolf was obvious. What happened? Hong Chi came over and heard a loud noise, and was immediately dumbfounded. I said, "Kid, you're doing something wrong. How did you demolish the house?" "Grandpa, as I said, we have money now, don't worry about this house, let's build another one." The reason why Ling Xiao wants to become stronger is that in addition to not wanting to be bullied, another purpose is of course to want to live a good life. Such a house that leaks in a rain, he really has enough. "You child, even if you want to build a house, where do we live now?" Hong Chi smiled bitterly. "I'm not afraid, there is a rented house out of Ling's house. Let's rent it for a while and wait for the house to be repaired before moving back." Ling Xiao smiled and said, "Grandpa, I will go to the construction team to repair the house for us." After speaking, he ran away happily, has just broken through the Wumai triple, and he is not afraid of meeting anyone for trouble. In other words, in fact, he really hopes that someone will come to find trouble, so that he can also try how strong he is now. As soon as he left the door of the Ling family, a man turned and sneaked away at the corner. "Brother Nebula, that guy came out." This man came into a small forest, and Li Xingyun was talking to two other middle-aged people. The strength of these two middle-aged people is similar to that of Li Rui. "Okay, I know, two of them, this is 100 or 2 silver, I don't want to live a mouth, just kill it. After that, another 100 or 2 will be given to you." Li Xingyun's face sneered sensibly. "Hey, Master Li, don't worry, our brothers always use people's money to eliminate disasters. We won't do anything else, but killing people is easy." Ling Xiao came out of the Ling family, went to the market to find a carpenter, discussed the matter of building a house, and then returned to the Ling family briskly. Passed by a small forest, he suddenly stopped. "Friend, why do you hide your head when you are here?" He looked at a tree not far away, his eyes sharp and cold. "Ha ha, boy, you can find us, it looks not weak." Sounded, and two people fell from the tree, are all in their 30s, wearing a masked black scarf, dressed as a warrior unlike Tianfeng City, but more like a bandit. Black Scarf Thief. Ling Xiao recognized the dress of these two people. This is a group of fierce gangsters, usually moving around Tianfeng City, but because the 4 families of Tianfeng City are relatively strong, they are afraid to enter the city easily, but their fierce reputation is not bad. It is said that there are a total of 600 or 700 people in the team, led by 13 leaders, is only called a Black Scarf Thief because they like black scarf masking. In addition, this group of people have scimitar sashimi on their arms, which is easy to recognize. "Boy, Since you know Grandpa, don't talk nonsense, take out all the silver on your body and spare you a life. Although Li Xinyan's errand was received, the black scarf thief has always been greedy for money and murderous, and of course they are more willing to maximize their profits. When the two were talking, they had already left and right, and they did not give Ling Xiao a chance to escape. Oh, before the family gave a reward, kill an ordinary black-scarred thief, 100 or 2 silver rewards, and get 10 points of merit. Yu reading www.yuyukeangshu.com. Since you two have come, don't go back. Ling Xiao smiled, calm, 100 or 2 silver is still a large number for him, and the merits are even more important. Generally speaking, only those with more than 4 martial arts qualities are eligible to accept family missions and gain merits. The merits can not only exchange things among the family, but also enhance the status of the family. For thousands of years, the Lings have been doing this. As long as you get 100 points of merit, you can change from a 9th grade family to an 8th grade family. 9 and other family members have no money, and may be driven away at any time, not enjoying many privileges of the Ling family. 8 family is different. Not only do they have regular money every month, but as long as they do not make big mistakes, they will not be driven away, and they have the status of true Ling family. Ling Xiao has been a beggar since childhood, so he hopes to have a family that can shield himself from the wind and rain. Although he came to the Ling family and suffered a lot of grievances, he also received a lot of benefits. He naturally refused to leave. Boy, you are really as arrogant as the rumor, kill us to receive the reward. I'm afraid you don't have that life, as rumored. Ling Xiao's heart moved, and the outsiders he had recently contacted were those of the Li family. Is it true that this black scarf thief was actually invited by the Li family to kill himself? He was already very smart, and the other party spoke a little, and was guessed by him. He had long known that the Li family would not be willing to give up. He was still waiting for the Li family to go to the Ling family to make trouble. Who knows that nothing happened? Now he understands, probably Li Xinyan's people did not report the truth, but wanted to quietly ask someone to solve themselves. Chapter 28, Black Scarf. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother, don't talk nonsense with this kid, he should have a lot of money on his body. After all, the Xiaoyue wolf can sell 30 or 40,000. Yes, kill this kid, he must have a silver ticket on him. That the 2 black scarf thieves glanced at each other, showing greedy color in their eyes, struck left and right, waved their long swords towards Ling Xiao. Wumai triple warriors joined forces. This momentum is not bad, the blade tears the air, and brings a strong wind. Something I don't know. Ling Xiao dismissed a smile. If it was before the breakthrough, he was really a little worried, but today, he happened to be able to take the 2 black-scarred thieves to receive the reward. The other party came over. Ling Xiao moved slightly under his feet, but he flew up and landed behind the other party. Boy, don't run away if you have the ability. Oh, do I have to escape? 100 steps flying sword. Suddenly raised his hand, the flying sword was unsheathed from the back, and the electric shot went out. The breeze sword turned into a lightning, which directly pierced the throat of one of them. What? The screaming stopped abruptly. The black scarf thief stretched out his hand and seemed to grab Ling Xiao, but his eyes were loose and his pupils were enlarged. After a while, he lay still on the ground. You killed my big brother, I want you to die. The other person didn't run. The long knife in his hand contained true energy and he slashed towards Ling Xiao. However, with this kind of knife technique, Ling Xiao didn't even have to look at it. This time he was too lazy to use the 100-step flying sword technique, and took a direct step. Xiangyun rose, and the person immediately put it into the arms of the black scarf thief, and then punched out. The black scarf thief's heart directly popped a big bullet hole. You! How is it possible that the black-scarred thief who was killed was dying? It was also a triple martial art. How could the gap be so big? And at this time, about a few hundred meters away from here, a pair of eyes also revealed the color of panic. This child will not get rid of it, he will stay in trouble, this speed is terrible. This person is Li Xinyan. He thought that even if 2 black scarf thieves could not kill Ling Xiao could be seriously injured. By that time, he would be foolproof if he shot again. who knows the result is far beyond his expectations. Ling Xiao's strength is not much worse than him, and the speed is far beyond him. Without relying on advanced martial arts, Xiangyun can hardly give birth to the idea of working against Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao glanced in that direction intentionally or unintentionally, smiled disdainfully, and then searched the bodies of 2 black scarf thieves. These 2 guys actually had 202 silvers, and 2 breakthrough dawn, which made money. Take these things out and put them directly in the mountain and river map. Ling Xiao lifted the bodies of the 2 people like a pig and took off, flying towards the Ling family. As soon as he arrived at the entrance of Ling's family, the former Ling family's children who were disdainful to Ling Xiao showed amazed eyes. Hey, isn't that the black scarf thief? It is said that the worst black scarf thief is the triple repair of Wumai. It shouldn't be that he killed, he has a double Wumai, eh? No, how did Ling Xiao break through the triple Wumai? This is too fast. Really, what's going on? That these people are very clear. More than 10 days ago, Ling Xiao was just a martial arts with a heavy martial art. At that time, anyone can bully Ling Xiao. However, this Ling Xiao is actually a martial art triple warrior. This entry is only swift and violent. It is really a bit stunned. There are rumors outside that Ling Xiao entered the Fulong Mountains a few days ago and happened to encounter a seriously injured Xiaoyue wolf, as well as herbs all over the ground. I also know that the Xiaoyue wolf seems to have been injured by Li's children led by Xiangyun of the Li family. Unfortunately, the Li family died of 3 or 4 disciples. Even Li Rui died. When they went back to find helpers, it was cheap to be picked up by this kid. It's shameless. It's the scum of the Ling family. That is, if I have the materials from Xiaoyue Lang, plus those herbs, I can break through. It is estimated that this time 2 black scarf thieves are also cheap to pick up. Definitely is. Hear the flies of these flies. Ling Xiao not only did not get angry, but showed a proud smile. Previously, no one would notice him, and he would only think of him when he was looking for someone to let off air, and today, these people's words are full of envy, which makes him feel very glorious. Although what happened in the Fulong Mountains has been portrayed completely different. It would be good as long as the Li family did not come to trouble. Now he is just a 9th family, and the family said he would give up if he gave up. If you can achieve results in the annual comparison, or get 100 points of merit, then you can get shelter from the Ling family. Went to reward the good and punished evil hall and handed over the bodies of 2 black-scarred thieves, and received a reward of 202 silver and 20 merit points. Ling Xiao went directly to rent a house. In Lingjia, as long as you have money, it is actually very easy to rent a good house anyway. I only lived for a few months, and Ling Xiao simply rented a big house with a monthly rent of 100 or 2 silver. There are all facilities inside: training room, 2 large bedrooms, living room, yard, kitchen, and even 2 servants. Handed over the silver and took the contract, Ling Xiao returned to the original broken house. At this point, the construction team had already come and began to demolish the old house in preparation for reconstruction. This new house, Ling Xiao did not intend to make it too big. Anyway, he could not have lived here all the time. Besides, he and his grandfather were too big to clean, so it is enough to get 2 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen, and a practice room, but the material must be good. After discussing the matter of the house, Ling Xiao and his grandfather Hong Qi, with the help of those of the construction team, moved the things to the lease. After busy working all this, Ling Xiao re-entered the closed state. Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.com. There is a special training room, which is better than the ordinary bedroom, at least safe, and will not be disturbed. Plus the training room will usually have a special structure, able to defend against strong shocks. Even at tens of thousands of kilograms of force cannot be broken, which gives Ling Xiao better practice conditions. Closed his eyes. Ling Xiao first entered the mountains and rivers for a round of inspection. Herbs are growing very well now, and the cubs of several monster beasts are also living in a happy life, so Ling Xiao is a bit embarrassed to use them as medicine. Congratulations to your mountain and river map upgrade to level 3, get new cards: level 3 farmers, level 3 herders, level 3 craftsmen. Craftsman. This is a new profession. Ling Xiao was interested to open the artisan card and looked at the introduction. He couldn't help laughing. This is a group of omnipotent craftsmen. They can build all kinds of weapons, equipment and tools. As their level increases, their abilities will become stronger and stronger. Everything created by this group of craftsmen will have special properties. Do you want to summon the craftsman? Don't worry first. Ling Xiao now says that there are tens of thousands of silver on his body, and there is still a corpse of Xiaoyue wolf not sold, but it costs money to build a house, plus he didn't think about what the craftsman should do, so I'll wait and talk. What he wants to do now is to practice cow magic. He already has red sun skills, bull power, meteor fist, breaking chi, returning chi, tiger steps down the mountain, 100 steps flying sword and 2 other intermediate body skills it can be swallowed up. To what extent will this bull magic gong improve? Chapter 29, Nyo Mo Ningsha. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Devour. Consume constantly. Ling Xiao fed all the martial arts he had learned except for Xiangyun to Nyo Mogong. Then, I saw that the experience of Nyo Mogong went up and down. Break through the first layer. Break through the second layer. Break through the third floor. Finally, stopped on the 7th floor. But at this time, the name of Nyo Mogong has undergone a subtle change, from the original Nyo Mogong to Nyo Mogong Ningsha. Not only has the name changed, but even the introduction text has changed accordingly. Nyo Mogong Ningsha. After the fusion breakthrough, Nyo Mogong has all the know-how of inner power, mind, body, martial arts, and secret methods. The martial arts are invincible below the 6th level, and the martial arts are still invincible under the 6th can dominate. Cultivation requirements: 3 peaks of Wumai cultivation practice, strong chi, firm will, strong body, able to withstand chi and enter the body. Practice this skill, you can produce gang chi. You need to continue to practice to hone. To upgrade the realm still needs to constantly devour the exercises. This exercise can produce a strong sense of grief, and it can be integrated into an attack. Although it can't cause substantial damage, it can make the opponent tremble and will first have the upper hand in will. Seeing this, Ling Xiao couldn't help but get excited, not to mention that simply being able to generate gang gas is enough to drive him crazy, not to mention, this thing can not only generate gang chi, but also condensate chi, and physically and mentally destroy the opponent. This is so cruel, that is to say, even if his cultivation base can't break through the Wumai quadruple in a short time, simply relying on Nyo Mogong Ningsha is enough to contend with the Wumai quadruple warrior. He thought that after swallowing it was only a level up, but he didn't expect such a fundamental change. This bull magic skill itself is a marvelous skill. It was previously characterized as intermediate martial arts, but in fact it is not much better than intermediate martial arts. After this integration and promotion, I am afraid that it is even more powerful than advanced martial arts. It is close to, and may even have reached the level of top martial arts. In other words, after the Xiangyun and 100 steps flying sword technique, which I have studied before, are exhibited using Nyo Mogong Ningsha, wouldn't it be close, even reaching the level of top martial arts? Awesome martial arts. Just when Ling Xiao was excited about being able to get top martial arts, he suddenly found that some textual introductions appeared on the mountains and rivers. Top-level martial arts are the top-level existence of secular martial arts, but above the top level, there are also extraordinary. Put through the 9 martial arts, promote the martial arts 9 heavy, but after the great completion of the martial arts 9, there are still extraordinary realm, extraordinary 9 heavy, that is another new realm of martial arts. Such a thing, Ling Xiao is naturally not qualified to know, so he was very shocked to see the words on the mountain and river map. He always thought that Wumai Jiuzhong was the top of the warrior. He always thought that top martial arts is the best martial arts. But now it seems that there is an extraordinary state above the Wumai Jiuzhong. On top martial arts there is also extraordinary martial arts, extraordinary state. Super martial arts. What kind of state is that? What kind of martial arts? The greater the strength, Ling Xiao found that his horizons became wider. Previously it was only limited to the Ling family, at most it was Tianfeng City. The most powerful master he can see, I am afraid that it is the people in these 4 families. Now, he suddenly understood that he was just sitting on a well and looking at the sky, the frog at the bottom of the well. It seems that you have to work hard. In the practice room, there is no day and no night, because there is no window, and the night pearl lighting is used, so Ling Xiao did not know what was going on outside. He had prepared dry food and told Grandpa Hong Chi not to disturb him, because he wants to retreat, he wanted to comprehend the Gang Chi. In this case, he would be invincible if the martial arts were below threefold, meeting the martial arts quadruple warrior. He also has the power to fight, at least the disadvantage is not so great. How can it be so easy to understand Gang Chi? Xuanhuan can help him revise his cultivation methods, but he can't help him to realize the epiphany. All you need is epiphany. That's why so many warriors are talking about perception. He didn't know anything else, but there were countless warriors in the Tianfeng city. Even the warriors at the triple peak of the Wumai, there were thousands of Guanling families, and the remaining 3 big families, and some small families added together. It is estimated that the total number exceeds 10,000. There are so many martial arts triple peak warriors, but there are not many warriors who can really break through to the martial arts quadruple, realize the true gasification, and condense the gas. Most people stay in the triple peak state of Wumai all their lives and cannot break through. This is why geniuses like Ling Taishou, Ling Feng, Ling Yixue, and Li Xingyun, who are also the triple peak martial arts of the Wumai, have high hopes. They have high perception and young age, and the possibility of natural breakthrough will be very high. Even so, these people stayed at this stage for the shortest period of a few months, the longest or even a few years, and there was no breakthrough. Ling Xiao wants to break through in a few hours. This face is a bit too ignorant of true gasification. He has a good habit, that is, when one thing cannot go on, he will not drill the horns, will choose to start from other aspects. Niu Magong has been promoted to Niu Magong Ningsha, so can Xiangyun also be promoted? If Xiangyun is promoted to www.wuxiaspot.com, will it provide more possibilities for condensing qi? Thinking of this, he no longer hesitated, choose the rest of the intermediate body skills from the exercises to start practicing. Anyway, this time he retired. He planned to wait until the day before the beginning of the year, then the beginning of the customs retreat. Since he could not condense the qi, improving Xiangyun can also improve the combat ability. Blood is very important for a warrior, but calmness is equally important for a warrior. 1 hour later, his Xiangyun once again broke through, reaching 3 steps. He tried to condense the qi, but still failed, but he had a hint of epiphany, so, he continued to promote Xiangyun. After 2 hours, Xiangyun broke through to 4 steps. He tried again to condense the qi, and finally ended in failure, but in the process, he obviously found that there was a trace of true qi in his body that seemed to reach the level of qi, is just unable to consolidate. This shows that the strength is not enough. Also explained that the promotion of Xiangyun is indeed helpful for condensing the qi. Carry on. He was not prepared to give up, and he never gave up when his strength stayed in Wumai. Now that his strength has improved so fast, he will never give up. After 3 hours, Xiangyun broke through again, reaching 5 steps. After 4 hours, Xiangyun reached 6 steps. It was at this time that a qualitative change finally occurred in the real Xiangyun, and the mountains and rivers changed its name to Xiangyun, Huajiao. Of course followed, and the introduction has changed. Chapter 30, Xuanhuan Huajiao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiangyun Jiao, a top-level body technique condensed by dozens of body styles, with Qigong Niumagong Ningsha will have a magical effect. The following body styles are unprecedented, and the martial arts below the Nineth level are still top-level body styles. It needs to be based on advanced body skills to continue to improve. If it cooperates with Gang, it can even produce an attack effect. As expected, after the Xiangyun reached the 6th level, qualitative changes also occurred, and it seems that there is some special connection with Bull Magic Gong. Now it seems that Xiangyun and Bull Magic Gong are not separate exercises, they also complement each other. Gongqi must immediately understand the Gang. Whether it's Niumagong Ningsha or Xiangyun Huajiao, you need qi to be able to exert real effects. However, when he closed his eyes again to comprehend the qi, he clearly turned the true qi in the 3 martial arts into Gang qi, but in the end that he was about to succeed, he fell short of success. All the qi ceased to spread again, and turned back to true qi. Ling Xiao is very puzzled. He sat there thinking for a while, and simply stood up. I can't figure it out by myself, so I have to ask someone who understands qi. he is a disciple of Ling family after all. I believe that Ling family will not ignore him. After all, the Lin family is big, and there are all kinds of birds. People like Ling Chong may not be like that. For example, the teacher in the medicine hall is very good. Thinking of this, he gave up the idea of continuing to retreat, then came out of the practice room. At this time, I saw Grandpa Hong Chi standing and walking around, as if he was very anxious. "What's wrong, Grandpa? What happened again?" Ling Xiao asked suspiciously. "Do you have to go out of school?" "This is the case. The teacher from your pharmacy just came over to drink tea with Grandpa and told me one thing. Hong Chi said, tomorrow, Mr. Ling will go out of the border, and all the disciples will welcome him. Must go." Ling Xiao frowned. To be honest, he didn't want to join in the excitement. There are so many disciples of the Ling family. Even if he goes, what can he do if he can recognize him? "That's not true, but your teacher said that every time Master Ling leaves the border, he will instruct the disciples practice. Even if it's just a word, it's enough to benefit the disciples," Hong Chi explained. "More importantly, if Master Ling fancy and accepted as a disciple, then this status would be high." "It seems that I really have to go," said that Ling Xiao did not want to be a disciple of Mr. Ling. It was lying. After all, Mr. Ling is the strongest of the Ling family. He is not clear about his specific strength, but he is definitely more powerful than others. More importantly, if he becomes his disciple, will there be any problems with future resources? After getting Mr. Ling's instructions, many things may become easier, and even if you can't become a disciple of Grandpa Ling, if you can get a trace of enlightenment from Grandpa Ling's instructions, that would be great. "I go." Ling Xiao nodded and said, "When will you go out?" "Hurry up now, it is estimated that I will be out of the customs soon." Hong Chi was anxious because the time was too tight. After hearing Xiao Ling, without saying a word, he turned and left the courtyard. The speed was so fast that he surprised Hong Chi. At this time, there were many disciples gathered in the square outside the retreat place of Mr. Ling. In addition to disciples like Ling Xiao, there are also top disciples in Elite Hall and Talent Hall. The disciples of Tiancating usually perform tasks outside this time, so only 2 or 3 came, which just happened. Most of the rest are elite disciples and disciples. The top 10 masters of the Elite Hall are here. This is a very rare scene. It's hilarious today. Although the 2 monsters from the Genius Hall are all ranked around 100, they are all 4 disciples who understand the martial arts of Gang Qi. We can't compare those monsters, but the Elite Hall's disciples can catch up. See it. Ling Xiaoyue, currently ranked 2nd, has just defeated the 3rd place, and Ling Feng, who has been promoted to 3rd place in the Elite Hall, is here. It was Ling Cheng who was defeated. He also came, and seems to be ranked 6th. Although the disciples present envy the monsters in Tiancating, the monsters are hard to catch up with, so they talked the most, but instead they were the top 10 disciples in Elite Hall. At least there is still some hope for catching up. There are thousands of elite disciples in the Elite Hall. Disciples who are not influential are countless. And they are all disciples under Wumai. Ling Xiao was in the past when intelligence was the bottom of disciples who were not influential, so in fact, people mocked him at that time and looked down on him, which is really normal. Of course, few people are paying attention to him now. After all, the fact that he broke through the threefold of Wumai is not known to anyone. For a person who has double training in martial arts, there is really no need to care too much. If you can't enter the top 10 of the Elite Hall, it is not easy to have fans. Among the top 10 disciples in the Elite Hall, Ling Xiaoyue is the only female disciple, plus her own natural beauty and terrible strength, so naturally it is a concern. Ling Yiheng is here. Ling Yiheng. Is it currently the chief disciple of Elite Club? Ling Yiheng, who is more powerful than Ling Xiaoyue? Yes, it is him. This man is awesome. Originally came in through the assessment, and changed his surname to Ling, but now he has become the chief disciple of the Elite Hall. It is a model for my generation. The cry of exclamation sounded. Everyone's attention was drawn to the past, including the monsters in Tiancating, also looked at them one after another. Because the chief disciple of Elite Hall, it is very likely to be promoted to Tiankai Hall and become a little monster. Yu reading www.yuukangshu.com may be their opponent in the future. Ling Xiao also followed the eyes of everyone. in the eyes, is a plainly dressed male disciple. Seeing his age, he should be 2 or 3 years older than him, with a simple smile on his face. This is completely different from the high-spirited expressions of the Ling family disciples. Good guy, deserved to be the chief disciple of the elite hall. His appearance looks honest, but there is a beast hidden in his body. Whoever looks down on this guy will definitely suffer a big loss. Ling Xiao has long heard of Ling Yihang, but before, he was not qualified to speak with Ling Yihang. Therefore, in order to prevent self-infliction, he has always kept a distance from the disciples of these elite halls. Is officially recognized today. This is indeed a rival, at least in his opinion. This Ling Yihang is definitely more difficult to deal with than Ling Feng and Ling Fei. The appearance of Ling Yihang not only attracted Ling Xiao's attention, including Ling Yixue, Ling Feng, Ling Yun, Ling Cheng, and Ling Taishou, who tried to challenge the top 10 of the chief disciples. All showed strong fighting intentions. Chief disciple of elite hall, this is not just a glorious name, is a real benefit. In training, you will get many unexpected benefits. Everyone wants this seat, but not many people are really qualified to challenge. Inside the elite hall, the top 10 disciples may have the power to fight, but it can really pose a threat to Ling Yihang. It is estimated that it is the top 5, of course, Ling Xiao is an exception. He doesn't want to reveal too much strength for the time being. Look! Ling Tai, who has just been promoted to the 4th place, is here.